I'd like to start this video with an apology to Big Frenchie, who's in division with me on this one, because he's been after me for months to try and jump in a game or a couple of games with me, and we finally managed to make that happen. He's way out there just north of Columbus, Ohio, and we did have a good chat. He admits himself that he's not the greatest player in the game, and well, we all have to learn, don't we? And we learn as we play. And it always helps to have somebody who knows kind of what they're doing to tag along with. I'm out of my normal bubble here, my normal safety bubble of destroyers, and I'm playing the Dutch cruiser, the Kegdown. And I haven't played much of this line, but I'm seeing more and more and more of them in the game. And the majority of people who play these Dutch cruisers, they find a place behind an island, they sit behind it, and they wait for something to come into range, and then they drop the bombs on it, and then they just wait for the reload, and that seems to be the meta for the Dutch cruisers. But these Dutch cruisers are quite handy ships. Now, we are on our own across on this flank because it's a carrier match, so there's only the two of us. And I said, look, you know, we aren't going to give Red Team the advantage here. I'm going to push. I've got quite good concealment. And I put some faith in my guns and my ability to shoot at destroyers to, give me a little bit of Dutch courage, as the video is called, to sail in and push this cap. We can see that we are contested straight away, but obviously I do have sonar, and I have a game where I completely forgot that the Dutch cruisers have sonar, and I'll maybe put that one on a later date. It is a cracking game. I forgot to say, Big Frenchie is in the Leviathan, which is basically in North Carolina. I am hard spotted, but I can get my back turrets onto this guy. He's already taken a couple of hits off me, and he's already taken a big hit off Big Frenchie, and we're going to continue to put the pressure on this guy and punish him for making his mistake as Big Frenchie picks up his first blood. Now, we've got an Orkan W here in the cap with us, who is running out of sonar range. The carrier is harassing him, which is good to see, and I'm quite certain that there's going to be somebody else hiding around the corner here. We can see that I think there was a shadow of a cruiser somewhere around here, but we're going to push. We're going to try and push this guy off the cap. One of the things I've said in a few videos recently is that if you play up the different chains of ships, the different nations, the different types of ships, you will learn to understand how people play them, what their capabilities are, what they can and can't do. I know that the Orkan has one rack of torpedoes. He can either run radar or smoke, and with that one rack of torpedo, he's got about, I think, about a minute between reloads, but the fact that I was targeted and then was not spotted anymore means that he's gone behind that island, and oh look, here come his torpedoes, but I'm going to have to soak one of those on my nose. But we're going to damage control the flood there, because we know we've got enough time for our damage control to come off cooldown before he gets another rack of torpedoes loaded. So we've got to switch back to HE. We can see where the carrier has pushed him to. We can see that there is a cruiser out there. We've taken this cap. Red team have taken the far cap, and everybody else seems to be sitting back and fanning around like a bunch of spuds. So we're going to get another airdrop on that Asturias out there, and we're going to wait. And we're thinking, do we go HE? Do we go AP? Who's the ship we're going to spot first? Is it going to be the destroyer as we come around the corner? We could have pushed harder, but we didn't want to. I'm letting Big Frenchie catch up with me because obviously his ship is a lot slower. This guy is angled. I know he has torpedoes. Oh, and look, there's another rack of torpedoes come from the Orkan. He obviously knew I was coming around the corner, but not exactly when I was coming around the corner. But it was a good attempt at torpedoing me. We are being targeted again. We are being targeted again. Now that could be the Asturias. We're not targeted anymore, but we are still hard spotted. Now I know that he can't get his guns across the top of that island at me, and in pushing down this flank so hard and so fast and so well, it means that we have got red team's aircraft carriers spotted. We've only got HE loaded, but if we can manage to hit a fire, and that is automatically damage controlled, then we know that if we get another fire, then that is going to be what I like to call a stick and tick. But having HE loaded means we can get onto this Orkan, who has managed to get himself spotted, and it's nice to see that there are people shooting at him. A slight change of direction there meant that we avoided the next rack of torpedoes. Now we know that we've got about a minute to pile onto this Ranger, and I'm just looking for my airstrike coming available on this one, because I know that I can drop hard on him. Here we go. We've got the HE going. He's broadside to us. We get a bomb drop and we get a kill. I don't know if it was the planes that killed him or if it was my shells that killed him, but we know that the destroyer is running. We know that this cruiser is basically hiding behind this rock. There is the destroyer again, got himself spotted. We've only got armor piercing loaded because we were ready to push round on the cruiser, and we are running our sonar both for destroyers, for torpedoes from the Orkan, or potentially from the cruiser that is behind us. Picking up a kill assist on that guy. We've got just under a minute and a half left on the sonar, and we've got, what's that, probably just under a minute, is it a minute left on the airdrop, so we can take our time. This guy is pinned, he's going nowhere. And French and I were trying to make a decision on how best to push this guy, but the rest of blue team have finally managed to push forward a little bit. They've managed to secure B-cap in the center of map. Red team is still across there on the flank, and it's almost even on the ships, but we do have a one ship advantage, and this Asturias is playing safe, he's playing smart, but we've got our airdrop back again, and the fact that we're within 8.5 kilometers of him means that we can get double airdrops on that guy because of the build that we are running on our commander. So we get a couple of bomb hits, we get a fire, and we get an incapacitation. We're going to do another drop on him. I'm not sure if we get anything off that one. But he's pretty much trapped, really. And we are splitting one left, one right of the island. And here we go. Now, unfortunately, Big Frenchie is going to come undone on this one because, yep, we were lining up to absolutely smack him, and I pushed forward a little bit too hard and too fast and was trying to slow down, get my guns onto this guy, but you notice the front turrets there just clipped the edge of the island. But he is out in the open. He's turned to put his torpedoes off. I'm trying to fire at him with AP, but we're getting bounces. Big Frenchie could have stayed bow on to those torpedoes and soaked a couple, but he put a turn in for the rear turret of Justice and unfortunately ate the lot of them and went out of the game. It is 3 ships versus 3. We control 2 caps, red team control 1. There is 1 ship out there on red team who has been doing all the damage, and it's that man there, the Leon. And guess what? He is on 4 kills. Now the question is, do I push into him to get within 8.5 Ks and get double airdrops on him? Do I use my guns? Do I kite away and just, you know, take the win on points, knowing that he has to push into the capture points if he wants to do anything? But given that we were a ship ahead and now we're even on ships, I don't feel like I can rely on my team to try and maintain the advantage. So we're just thinking, when do we pull the trigger on this guy? What have we got in front of us? We've got 2 islands there, and yeah, it's looking rather dodgy because the Leon has just turned and he is heading in this direction. I don't know what the destroyer is that's left in the game, but I know that the cruiser is a London, and that is it's got a long reload, but it hits hard. It can be very, very punchy. We're going to go for the airdrop while he's out, or at pretty much maximum range for the airdrops, but then we're going to add insult to injury by opening fire on him, because what we are looking for is getting those bomb hits, getting the drops, getting the fires, and forcing him into a damage control. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Now, I was just thinking, this guy versus me, I am dead in the water. All I can do is try and outturn his shots. I've got some hit points to play with, and he is hungry for a kill. The reason he's hungry for a kill is because he is hungry for a 5th kill. He is on a Kraken. He's damage controlled the fire already. That fire is going to stick and tick, but I don't want to give this guy any chance to basically kill me. So double fire, we're going to stay onto him every single reload. There we go. We lose another chunk of health, but this is going to be the end of him for my 3rd kill of the game, plus the 2 assists, remember, that we've got so far on the Asturias and on the Orkan W, which leaves myself and a destroyer versus the London. The London, if he wants to win, is going to have to kill one or both of us. And I am going to have a look around in a minute and realise that our little French friend in his destroyer is very, very low health. Now, that is a ship that I've started playing recently. I'm grinding up that line. I'm happy to say that in my first 3 matches, I have 2 victories, and each of those victories has been more than 3,000 XP. Not bad at all. In the game that I lost, I finished on, I think it was just over 1,500 XP, and my god, did I have a bunch of potatoes. But that 1,500 XP, what that would have translated into about a 2,300 as it was then. But yeah, red team won on points. Now I was thinking I can push in and get an airdrop in this guy if he's still spotted by the destroyer. But the destroyer decides that he wants to pop his smoke screen. Now why he's done that, I don't know, but the London is spotted by me now, and then he goes dark, and then he comes back, so he's obviously running quite a solid concealment build. Are we going to hit him with these bombs? Well, no. Yes, we are. We're going to get a fire. But with him on B cap, I'm heading in exactly the opposite direction, because if he manages to kill that destroyer, it means that it is me versus him, and he is currently a little bit healthier than I am, so I don't want to run that risk as we pick up a high caliber and a Confederate medal. For those that don't know, that means that I have done at least 20% damage to at least 6 red team ships in the game. Now all that destroyer has to do is get the hell out of a smoke screen and spot this guy, and I can keep this cap reset. You know, he obviously doesn't understand his role, but there we go. The London's gone on us, and so we're going to turn out a little bit, and we're going to try and get one more salvo and a couple more resets on this guy before we disappear round the corner of this island. It's all in the tactics, gentlemen. It takes a couple of brain cells to be able to figure out what you need to do to win the game. Now, with the amount of time that's left in the game, if that London stays in range, I can keep him reset, but I want to remain undetected because I want to take this capture point, because capture points are worth an absolute load of XP, and I always play for the win. You know, I will always play as hard as I can for the win, and we're looking to see if we can get another bomb drop on that London, but it's not going to happen before the cap turns. Now that London is heading in my direction. The destroyer is still spamming his torpedoes out there, and yep, we missed the drop there. It would have been lovely to get another fire on him there, but the London is zigzagging. I'm guessing he's running his sonar. Now, if I was that destroyer, I would swing round to his left, and I would come back in on the cap and get in behind him, because he is heading for me. Now we've got about 5 seconds here left on the cap. The destroyer is running his smoke again. The London is looking towards him, and I'm thinking, okay, his guns are pointing in the wrong direction. He's just fired. The clock is ticking down. There's no way he's going to kill both of us in this game, because I know the London's turrets turn slowly. And he is going to get a shot at us, but not before the clock runs down. And this is going to be a win for blue team. We managed to break 100,000 damage on that one, which was a new personal best for me in the Eindracht, like I said. I did say kite down earlier, didn't I? No, it's the Eindracht. But we break 3100 XP there with 3 kills. And there's Big Frenchie in a respectable 4th place overall. And Frenchie, mate, it was an absolute pleasure to have you along. And I really do hope we can have some games again soon. It just means me having a slightly later night than usual. Had to turn the sound down on that one because we were talking through the whole thing, but I hope it didn't take away from the experience. Don't forget, smash the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe, and as always, until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.